It was preached ahead of time, if you like, to Abraham, that's true, but it was not the era of the preaching of the kingdom, which John the Baptist, followed by Jesus, did. We don't have enough evidence exactly of what John taught in detail. All we have is that excellent statement that something changed when John the Baptist began. He's separating himself from the temple, which is really striking at the root of the whole Mosaic system which the temple represented. Jesus does the same, calling himself, Jesus, greater than the temple. So this new covenant begins. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. The classic case of Jesus dealing with the old covenant is in Mark 7, where Jesus carefully explains that nothing that you put in your mouth by way of food can render you unclean. And Mark then adds that little comment, which they may not have fully understood when Jesus said it. That's possible. I don't know. But Mark adds that famous comment there in Mark 7:19. As he said these things about nothing that goes in your mouth can make you unclean, he, Jesus, was cleansing the foods. He was abolishing the food laws. That's very striking. The best manuscripts, by far, give us what you've got at the top. As a result, he, it's the question of what the he is there. And he, Jesus, is the one, the subject, the obvious subject there. He is rendering all foods clean. It's rather tame to say, well, foods are eliminated in the bowels and the toilet and so on. I mean, we know that. That's not the point. But as a result of this statement, Mark notes in the very best manuscripts, overwhelming manuscript evidence for this, that Jesus cleansed the foods. But Paul, if you doubt that, then Paul obviously does in Romans 14, where he says, I, Paul, am a Jew, and I don't think anything is unclean. Talking of foods now, in Romans 14, I don't think, Paul said, that anything is unclean of itself unless you think it is. Then don't eat it. If your conscience is bothering, don't eat it. But that's not supporting the food laws. Paul's a Jew there and a Christian. Nobody could imagine that he's telling you you've got to keep the food laws in Leviticus 11. That's just impossible. Words do have meaning.